John Boyne, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Dive into the poignant and heart-wrenching world of The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, a fable by John Boyne set against the backdrop of World War II's darkest hour. Through the innocent eyes of a young boy named Bruno, readers are offered a unique perspective on the Holocaust, blending simplicity with profound depth. As the son of a Nazi commandant, Bruno's life is uprooted from Berlin to a desolate place called Outwith, near a concentration camp. Here, he befriends Shmuel, a boy in a striped pajamas on the other side of a barbed wire fence. This tale, rich in themes of innocence, friendship, and the absurdity of prejudice, highlights the stark contrast between a child's pure curiosity and the grim reality of historical events. In this journey, explore how Boyne crafts a narrative that is both accessible and unsettling, inviting readers of all ages to confront the vital issues of empathy and humanity.
A child's innocence. One day, young Bruno receives unsettling news. His family must leave Berlin due to his father's promotion, relocating to a place called Outwith. Upon arrival, Bruno is perplexed by the strange landscape and the people he spots through his window, all dressed alike in what seem to him like striped pajamas. When Bruno inquires about these people, his father dismisses them as non-entities and urges Bruno to focus on adjusting to their new home. Despite his father's words, Bruno is filled with longing for his life in Berlin, friends, grandparents, and familiarity. This new home, situated by a tall, barbed wire fence, feels eerie and isolating. Bruno, overwhelmed by loneliness, desperately yearns for companionship. Through his innocent eyes, the world appears dramatically different than the reality understood by the reader. John Boyne masterfully utilizes this naive perspective to develop dramatic irony, leaving us to grasp the grim truths hidden from Bruno, the authoritarian nature of his father's role as a concentration camp commandant and the terrifying reality that the people in the striped clothing are prisoners. Boyne's narrative casts a poignant shadow over the story, driven by an ever-present sense of tragedy due to Bruno's innocent and hopeful view of his world. At times, Bruno's ignorance seems improbable, like when he views Heil Hitler as simply a casual farewell or mistakenly calls Auschwitz Outwith, even when he sees it spelled correctly. As the son of a high-ranking Nazi officer, one might expect Bruno to possess greater awareness. Yet this story nudges us to see it through an alternate lens. It presents itself as a fable, as plainly noted in its opening pages. Boyne's intention transcends the creation of a factual historical account. He crafts a fable, simple and hauntingly accessible, meant for all readers, including those the age of Bruno. This framing adds depth to our understanding of Boyne's choices. Bruno is meant to be relatable, his naivety elicits empathy. We've all experienced similar childhood dependencies, where friends and family are entire worlds. Bruno's homesickness echoes our own, familiar to anyone who's felt out of place and nostalgic. While Bruno's family accompanies him, peer connections are sparse, his bond with his sister is weak, his father remains aloof, and even his mother seems somewhat detached, likely grappling with her own upheaval. What Bruno needs is a friend, a true companion to combat his isolation. Fortuitously, as the plot thickens, such a friendship is on the horizon, a beacon of hope in Bruno's increasingly bewildering world. The Forbidden Friendship. Bruno, a young boy uprooted from his life in Berlin, finds himself in a new, foreign landscape where old friendships are now impossible. He's left with the simple joys of exploring his new environment, despite his parents' warnings. Driven by curiosity, he ventures along a forbidden fence and discovers Shmuel, a boy dressed in monotonous striped pajamas and a star-marked cap. Separated by the ominous barrier, they uncover a kinship that transcends their visible differences. Both boys are surprisingly similar, they are the same age, share the same birthday, and might as well be twins, except that Shmuel is trapped in the nearby Auschwitz camp. Their budding friendship unfolds as Bruno regularly sneaks to the fence to meet Shmuel. They share stories of their drastically divergent lives. Bruno perceives his friend's world through a child's lens, capturing glimpses of Schmuel's sorrowful life and arduous journey to Auschwitz aboard a train from which no one could disembark. The fences of misunderstanding frustrate Bruno. Why must Schmuel wear the same striped pajamas daily? He questions things without understanding the grim reality of occupation and imprisonment, seeing only a potential friend in Schmuel beyond the confines of labels. While Bruno remains naive to the harsh truths around him, his innate kindness and curiosity distinguish him from the adults around him, including his father, who fails to recognize the humanity trapped in the confines of the camp. Boyne crafts their tale carefully, symbolically entwining both boys through shared birthdays, emphasizing how arbitrary and senseless the world's divisions are. However, their connection pushes the boundaries of historical feasibility. Critics raise eyebrows over the likelihood of such a friendship. In reality, Auschwitz's fences would have been insurmountable barriers, and a child prisoner like Schmuel might not have survived in such harsh conditions, let alone had the freedom to meet an outsider. Even so, Boyne's intention for the story operates beyond strict adherence to fact, leaning toward the realm of a fable that underscores the enduring need for human connection. The allegorical nature lets readers linger on the essence, an uplifting message about friendship rather than questioning plausibility. This sculpted narrative opens a dialogue about the liberties and responsibilities of historical fiction. Can tales from tragic eras like the Holocaust veer from strict accuracy to capture broader human truths? Boyne's poignant story raises valid concerns, yet it undeniably weaves a compelling and evocative tale that stays with readers beyond the last page. As the boys' secret friendship prospers against all odds, one must ponder the impact of such narratives, where the emotional truths they convey might resonate more profoundly than historical fidelity alone. Dubiously realistic, but profoundly heartfelt, Bruno and Schmuel's story urges readers to reflect on understanding, empathy, and the invisible lines that often divide us. Innocence in shadows. Bruno's life has changed dramatically since leaving Berlin nearly a year ago. The once unfamiliar surroundings of Out With have become his home, largely thanks to a cherished friendship. But the atmosphere shifts when Bruno learns that he and his family are returning to Berlin. His mother's dissatisfaction with their current situation has prompted his father to let her take Bruno and his sister back. What might once have been welcome news now brings a melancholy tone, especially when Bruno contemplates leaving his dear friend, Schmuel, behind. Determined to share one last unforgettable adventure, the boys devise a bold plan. Bruno will sneak under the fence surrounding the camp, don a pair of striped pajamas to blend in, and join Schmuel in exploring the world he has only glimpsed from afar. They aim to uncover the mystery of Schmuel's missing father in the process. The prospect of this adventure excites Bruno, filling him with the promise of genuine understanding and exploration. On the appointed day, Bruno executes their plan with nervous anticipation. As he steps into the camp, Bruno is struck by the stark contrast to his expectations. The sight of somber, frail figures milling quietly about under the watchful eyes of armed guards is nothing like he imagined. Despite this unsettling reality, he feels bound by his promise to help Schmuel and is buoyed by the realization that Schmuel is his best friend, a sentiment he fiercely affirms as they grip each other's hands tightly. Their explorations bring them to a packed, dim room. Bruno's reassurances, however, soon become a final farewell as the door closes, casting them into darkness from which they will not return. Bruno vanishes, leaving his family in anguish, grappling with his mysterious disappearance. The truth begins to take shape only when his discarded clothes are found by the fence and Bruno's father comprehends the tragedy that unfolded. Bruno and Schmuel's fate drives home the poignant and haunting reality of their story. The innocence of a curious child finds its tragic end in the gas chamber, alongside his friend. This inevitable end, chilling yet not wholly unforeseen, delivers a profound emotional impact. Their hand-holding, even as their lives ebb away, serves as a testament to their unwavering bond in the face of looming horror. The narrative's power is felt in its simplicity, deliberately leading readers toward unsettling introspection about the Holocaust's myriad terrors. Brew.
John Boyne's The Boy in the Striped Pajamas culminates in a breathtaking yet tragic realization of childhood innocence colliding with the brutal facts of history. As Bruno and Shmuel's friendship deepens, their ultimate fate in a gas chamber forces us to face the senseless cruelty of the Holocaust. Boyne's choice to frame this story as a fable allows readers to grasp its moral underpinnings, emphasizing the universal truths about friendship and humanity's shared nature. Despite historical inaccuracies scrutinized by critics, the narrative succeeds in evoking powerful emotional responses and reflection on past atrocities that linger in contemporary consciousness. The story serves as a solemn reminder of the perils of indifference and the capacity for connection beyond imposed boundaries. With Boyne's closing words casting doubt on the assurance that history cannot repeat itself, the book leaves a lingering impact that challenges readers to commit to understanding and compassion in any era.